Hi, I'm Lisha and welcome to Thriving Plants. Today I want to talk to you a little bit more about tomato plants. So one of the things I want to do is give you a little history for the tomato plant. Now, the tomato plants that you see nowadays are actually a modern plant that has been created throughout time by crossbreeding different types of tomato plants. Now, the original tomato plant was actually a vining plant that climbed trees, mountainsides, anything it could latch onto, because it actually grows roots up its stem. And the original tomatoes were actually about the size of a quarter. So after years and years of crossbreeding those plants together, you came up with what is now the modern tomato plant. Now, there are two different types of tomato plants. You have a determinate tomato plant, which is a plant that it grows to a predetermined size. Then you have indeterminate tomato plants, which are tomato plants that will just continue to grow until you stop them or they die due to the cold weather. The fact that the tomato plant does grow roots up its stem is something you can actually use to your advantage to grow a stronger plant. And when you go to plant your tomato plants, you can actually just plant them deeper so that you'll have strong roots that will grow up your stem. Most of the time people will plant the lower 2/3 of their tomato plant into the soil. Now, another advantage to the fact that they grow roots on their stems is that you can actually add some soil to them as they grow. Before I go to add any extra soil around the base of this plant, I'm going to go ahead and add another inch of mulch to what's already there, because the soil has sank and I want to be able to have at least 2 inches of mulch on this plant to keep its roots cool and to keep down on viruses. Now that I have finished adding my mulch, you can see I've left about 2-3 inches from the base of this tomato plant stem. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take some soil that I had and I'm going to add it around the base of this plant, kind of build up around the outside of it. And what's going to happen by doing this is that you're going to see from this stem right here, new roots are going to begin to come out from the base where you started putting on your soil and spread to wherever the soil line ends at. And this is actually going to help make your plant stronger. And you can continue doing this as you need to add mulch as your soil starts to sink down, because it's breaking down from different types of organisms, earthworms, rain, heat. These all cause soil to break down over time and sink. And as that happens, you can just continue adding more and more mulch and more soil. So I'm actually going to go ahead and just mound this around the base of this plant, so that it's a little higher and more roots can develop. Because I do want a plant that's going to be as strong as possible. So the stronger it is, the more disease resistant it will be and the more tomato. So now I'm actually going to take a little bit of this mulch, kind of push it up over top of this just to help keep it in place and try to prevent any splashing of water up onto any of my foliage, to help cut back on diseases and fungi being able to get onto my leaves of my plant or the stems and spreading. Once that happens, you have to do a lot to try to get rid of the fungus, and if it's a virus, you have to actually get rid of your plant. Now that I've finished mounding the soil around the base of my tomato plant stem, I'm gonna water it so I can get those roots start growing, give me a much healthier, happier plant that's gonna produce more tomatoes in the future. Thank you for joining me today on Thriving Plants. Please hit the subscribe button below if you found this useful, and I will see you next time. Bye.